Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel and welcome to today's video. You already know what we're here to talk about. You see the title, you see the new space we have here, and I am happy, excited, overjoyed, overwhelmed, and just I'm so happy to say this out loud. I've moved out of my parents' house. I moved out of my parents' house. This is something that has been in the making for a very long time. I've wanted to move out of my parents' house before I moved back to Nigeria when I was in America doing my master's degree. I remember one of the conversations I was having with my mother before I moved back was like, I'm not planning on living with you guys. So this wasn't a decision that I just made like last week or last month or last year. This is something I've wanted to do before I moved back. Before I stepped foot back in this country, I was like, I need to move out. And then I moved back to Nigeria, and I realized that the realities of Nigeria were not the realities I had in my head. I didn't realize that I would work jobs and I'd be owed salary. I didn't realize so much, so much would happen. And every year I kept beating myself up about the fact that I hadn't moved yet. Every new year I would sit down on my bed and I'd be like, next new year I'm not gonna spend it in this house. Next year I'm not going to spend it in this house. And that happened every year. I was comfortable. I mean, who isn't comfortable in their parents' house? And at the same time I was uncomfortable. If you asked me why I moved out of my parents' house, I would say it's because of my parents. I would definitely say like, yeah, I moved out because my parents are driving me crazy. If you're one of those people that thinks that your parents can't do any wrong, your parents are perfect, your parents are wonderful, amazing people that cannot do any wrong, then sorry, I'd ask you to leave this video. I'd ask you to just go away. Parents are human beings. African parents are human beings, and they make mistakes and they do shit that hurts us, their children. I can say that African parents have a particular style of parenting that can be very suffocating, very overwhelming, and very, you must do every single thing that I say or else. No, there's no or else. You have to do what they tell you to do. That's it. And apart from having that, there's also a little bit of the fact that my parents are, how do I express this, or how do I say this without being like disrespectful to them, and at the same time I want to pass this message across. Apart from the fact that my parents are typical African controlling, suffocating parents, my parents have created a toxic situation with their marriage that has impacted my mental health in a very negative way. I can say that the major cause of my anxiety is my parents. I can say that the major cause of a few of my depressive episodes here and there have been because of my parents and of the situation we have at home. I can't divulge any of the details of my parents' marriage and of what they do. I can't tell you that because that's personal to them. It's personal to me, and I'm not about to share that with you guys. But there is one thing I will share, is that they created a situation where I'm not happy, basically. They created an unhappy situation for me, and I've tried to change it. I've tried to help my mom, help my dad. I've tried to do so many things, but I can't force anybody to change their ways, to change their life, to change what they're about. I can't force them to do what they don't want to do. In my opinion, you have either two options. You either change the situation you're in, or you leave it. And I have tried to change the situation. I've tried to change the environment, and it didn't change. So here I am leaving the situation. My mother called it running away. I mean, if you're gonna call me moving out running away from their problems, by the way, their problems, not my problems, then yeah, I ran away from home. That's basically the why of me moving out. The how is much more interesting to me than the why. So an incident happened about a year and a half, 2 years ago, that solidly was like I'm going to move out of my parents' house. I had a budget and I knew I wanted to live on the island, and I found places within my budget on the mainland. In fact, I was supposed to move out last year. I was supposed to move into an apartment with Coco and another housemate last year, but it was on the mainland, and I told myself that I've never entered that third mainland bridge traffic in the morning going to work. It's not now that I'll start entering that traffic. I'm not about to enter that traffic on a daily 9 to 5 level. Like, I'm not doing that to myself. So I said, okay, I was gonna live on the island, and I know the island is a bit more expensive, but I was determined to find something within my price range on the island, which I did. I found my place via Fiverr. Fiverr is a startup company, a tech startup, where you can find apartments to live, and you can pay for it either monthly, quarterly, every 6 months. They have different types of leases and different types of payment plans, which is what I really liked about Fiverr, because the idea of dropping a huge amount of money all at once was very daunting and intimidating to me. So the story of my place, I think, is very funny. I found my place on Fiverr. It was within my price range. It was on the island, and I was like, okay, I don't have the money yet. And the place was opening up in September, which we're in right now. When I found the place, it was like months and months ago. I think it was the beginning of the year or even last year. And I was like, oh yeah, this is my place. I'm going to save up and I'm going to get this place, and I'm going to move out of my house into this place. Like, I was very, very certain that this was going to be my new home. Now on Fiverr, where I am right now doesn't even have pictures of the place. Like, there are no pictures of the place on Fiverr. So I was taking like the biggest risk, you know, just like saying that I'm going to move into this place without seeing the pictures. I didn't even know if it was worth the price of the, to be very, very honest. I wasn't sure if it was worth the price at all. But I was like, I just knew. Like, I remember opening the Fiverr website, seeing the place, and being like, yeah, that's my place. Yeah, I'm gonna move into that place. That is where I'm going to live. I saved up my salary via PiggyVest. I did a safe lock. I have tried saving up to move out several times, but every time I tried to save up to move, there would always be an incident, or there would always be something happening, and I would end up having to use that money to solve the incident or to survive or to anything. But I decided that I need to move out. I need to get out of this place. So I used the PiggyVest safe lock, and that means you lock your money up to, like, you can't get your money, you can't access your money. So I used the safe lock, and I was able to save up for my rent. I was also stalking the place on Fiverr. So it has on the Fiverr website, there's a date of when, you know, move-in date, like earliest move-in date. And the moving date was like early September. So for months, I would like look at the place online, just like look at it, dream about it. I would daydream about my place. I would daydream about living on my own. I started following furniture stores, thrift furniture stores, furniture places, homeware stuff. I've been following so many accounts, like home accounts, like for months and months and months. And I think it's what helped to make this a reality, because even though I didn't have the money to move in as soon as I wanted to, like, move out, I saved up, and I basically started keeping it in my head. I'm going to move out. This is what I'm going to need. This is what I'm going to need. I saved stuff on Pinterest, saved stuff on Instagram. And everybody that I met, like, I told all my friends, I'm moving out in September. I'm moving out in September. Actually, I was telling people I'm moving out at the end of August. And then it shifted to September. I was like, I'm moving out, I'm moving out, I'm moving out. Like, and I said it so many times to my friends that at one point someone came and said, oh, have you moved out yet? Like, I got messages, like, to the people that I told, I got messages at the end of August, like, oh, have you moved yet? That's how much I talked about. And I feel like me talking about it to my friends, me saving up, me saving things on Pinterest, you know, all these things just helped to cement that, yeah, I'm moving out into this place. I basically manifested this whole thing into my life. I would wake up sometimes in my old bedroom and be like, just 2 more months until I move out. I didn't have the money complete, but I would say like 2 more months until I move out. 1 more month until I moved out. My close friends on Instagram have seen the process of me moving out before I even moved out, because I would post on my close friends, and when I actually got, like, when I got the call that, oh, the place is available, do I want to see it, I was like, yes. I told all my friends, I took pictures, I did everything. So the process of getting this place was easy and very interesting to me, just like manifesting, working on this shit, saving stuff. Like the whole process was like so fun in my head, because I would daydream, I would get lost in my head, and yeah, I manifested this shit. I'll say that proudly. I manifested this shit. I manifested the shit out of this place. I think the major question that everybody has for me since I announced the move is, how did my parents take it? How did I deal with my parents? Number one, my parents did not take it well. I'm not gonna sit here and lie to you and say, oh, I told them and they were like, okay, cool, bye, deuces. My mom did not take it very, very well. My dad was just like, no, you're not moving out. Forget that. Let that thing. I remember the words he said. It was like, remove that from your mind. But what I did, I paid for this place before I told them that I was moving out. Because I didn't want a situation where I told them like, oh yeah, I found the place, I'm moving out. And they asked, have you paid? And I say, no. They're like, oh no, it's not too late. You don't have to move out. I made sure to pay before telling them, because I knew that if I had told them I hadn't paid, they would have found a way to convince me to stay. And that is my parents' secret weapon on me. I feel like we're raised in such a way that we do not like to displease our parents. We do not like to get them upset. We do not like to go against what they say. I think we've been raised that way. One thing that I was dreading before having this conversation with them was how upset, how displeased, how sad and brokenhearted that my mother would be. I adore my mother. My mother is my world. My mother is everything to me, and I hate upsetting her. I hate seeing her cry. I just hate this. I just hate it. I hate it so much. But when it comes to things like this, and when it comes to like the reason why I was leaving and moving out, I knew like if I had stayed, I knew I wouldn't be happy. I knew that the situation that I had, that was going on, would not change at all. So I used that to kind of push the idea of, don't disappoint your parents, don't upset your parents out of my mind. What also made it easier for me is that I've been disappointing my parents since like God knows when. I go out late partying, I don't have a traditional 9-to-5 job, I am almost 30 and I'm not married. I dye my hair several colors. I am not the typical Nigerian child. So already my parents are kind of used to me being like weird and not doing what they say. But this, of course, is on a very, 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 very different level. Like, yeah, you can dye your hair several colors, but you still sleep under my house in my roof. Oh yeah, you can go out late partying, but no matter what, you have to come back home at this time. Oh yeah, you're a blogger, influencer, music, but whatever you do, but it's still in my house. When you look at all those disappointing, rebellious things that I've done, it's always been under their roof. Now I'm about to do all those things not under their roof, so it's a completely different ball game. So I just prepared myself mentally. I prepared myself for my mother's tears. I prepared myself for my father's talk. I prepared myself mentally. I sat down and I thought of all the things they could say, all the scenarios they could bring up. I sat down and thought of every single thing, and I prepared myself. I prepared myself. I remember I told my mom first, and my mom was really, really, really upset. And then later in the evening, I told my dad. And then my mom and my dad and my brother, we all had like a family conversation about it. And they were still like, no, you can't move out. My dad was like, nah, you can't move out. My mom was like insistent I can't move out. When they said, oh, you can't move out, I had my own plan. I was like, okay, if you guys say I can't move out, I'm just gonna do it, but like very, very sneakily. I already had a plan for what I was gonna do. If I told them and they were like no and they were insistent, I already had a plan that I was gonna like one day take a day off work, pack all my stuff in one day out of my house and just disappear. And I know that would have been way more painful to my parents. And I didn't want to do that. I didn't want it to get to that level. And thank God I didn't get to that level. So the first evening after I told them, the next morning, I was already cleaning my room and already packing. And my mom saw, and we got into a whole thing. and she even woke up my dad. And then my dad was like, she's an adult, she can do what she wants, she's almost 30, we can't force her to stay. And then once my dad said that, my mom was like, fine. But she was still pretty pissed off. Like, when I left, she was still pretty pissed off. Like, she was like, okay, I've accepted it, but she was still pretty pissed off, because my mom is very traditional. My mom is a very traditional Yoruba woman. She expected that I would live with them until I get married, and that wasn't my plan. That has never really been my plan. My plan was to always live on my own before I get married. I wanted that experience of being my own adult, being an adult woman living on her own before I get married, because I feel like it's very necessary to have some experiences on your own. It's very necessary to be alone before you go and hitch yourself to somebody else. But those are my personal opinions. That's just me. And of course, my mom didn't agree. But again, there's nothing she can do. Here I am in my own space. So this is my space. Welcome to my new home. Welcome to my new space. I'm very excited to start creating content and YouTube videos and everything here. This move has been the reason why I haven't been creating content or haven't been uploading, because I had already mentally checked out of that house months, like 2 months before I had moved out. Like, my brain had already checked out, and when I was in that headspace, I was like, I'm not gonna create any content here, because this is not where I want to create content. This is not where I want to be, which is why like YouTube content has been like up and down. I didn't want to announce it before it happened, because what if it doesn't happen? But here I am, it has happened, so I'm announcing it. I filmed a little moving vlog, a little bit of like snippets here and there of me moving. You guys will get a better look at the space. I have been asked to do a home tour, and let me be honest with you guys, I do want to do a home tour. I want to share this all with you, but a part of me feels like you guys would judge me, because I moved from my parents' house, which had a lot of space, to moving into my own place, which is way smaller than where I'm coming from. And I don't want to give the internet the opportunity to troll me and say bullshit like, oh, you moved out of your big parents' house to come and move into like a small one bed. I remember the first time I entered the space to see what it looked like, and I immediately could imagine myself living here. I immediately could imagine my stuff in different places here. Oops, they're taking light. So I don't want to give people the opportunity to say bullshit to me, but I don't know when I started thinking about the opinion of other. A part of me is like, yeah, I don't want to give trolls and people the opportunity to say mean things to me. But then again, I don't know when I started to care about what people think. I don't know when that changed, and it's not going to change today. So I will be doing an apartment tour. There will be a little bit of moving content. You guys will get this video, then you guys will get the moving vlog, then you guys will get the house tour, and then that's it. And then we're going to be back to our regularly scheduled program. I'm not going to be doing the house tour now, because not everything is set up. Like, I don't have a cooker yet. My mirror isn't here. Where my hand is right now is where my mirror is going to be. I'm going to go get that next week. Thank you guys so much for all the love and support and the prayers. I was looking at all the comments and replying, and I noticed that a lot of them were from women who were saying, God when, that they want to move, they can't wait to move. And that was me. That was me last year, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 4 years ago. I was always saying God when. I was always saying I can't wait to move. Like, I was always saying like I want to move. The God, the universe, the spirit that allowed me to move out will allow you to move out. If I can do it, oh my god, I'm crying because this is so emotional for me. If I can do it, you can definitely do it. Just put your heart to it, put your mind to it, and be ready to fuck all the circumstances. Be ready for your mother to say that she will disown you. Be ready for fights. Be ready. But if you really want to move out and you're really determined to do it, you can do it. You can definitely do it. I believe in you. I didn't believe in myself before, because I remember like all the times I'd want to move out, I'd be like, but no, I don't make a lot of money, I'm not comfortable enough, it's not the life I want to live. But you gotta start small, you gotta start somewhere. You gotta start from somewhere. And yeah, I started from somewhere. Now I'm somewhere. I don't know if this is the bottom, I don't know if this is the top, I don't know, but this is my somewhere. This is my truth, this is my life, and I'm just happy that I've done this thing. I'm so happy. If you're out there watching this video and you're going through a really particularly mentally tasking, or if you're just going through it and you know that you need to move and need to help you, then you should do it. Thank you guys so much once again for watching this video, for sharing, for liking, for subscribing, for being here. Regular YouTube content shall resume. I am very grateful for all the love and support I've gotten. And if you're using me as a point of contact, I pray and pray and pray and pray that it comes true for you, because the happiness of being in my own space is just, it's something that I've never experienced, and it's something that I forever want to experience, and it's something that I wish for you. I wish my experience, I wish my happiness and my joy on you, for you. Thank you guys so much once again. I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.